Hello! We are here. We're playing some Vampire the Masquerade. I know it's not Tuesday, but it's Monday, and we like to play Vampire all the time, forever and always. Amen. Um, we don't have a problem. You have a problem, okay? You can't prove it. But thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Really appreciate it. We're going to go around the room here who we're playing as, and let's go ahead and, at least for the coterie, your thoughts on being approached by not one but two different members of the Primogen, and what are your thoughts on that? Go ahead and start with Carter.
Start with Carter. I am playing Carter. Carter is Clan Tremere. As anybody who's watched the show for more than about 5 minutes, Carter would very much rather be reading a book than dealing with all these shenanigans. As far as the Primogens, wow, Carter's long-term, like 12-step plan probably involved getting involved in politics. It was at like step 12, not step, -2, which is where we're at right now. So, he's, I think, secretly sort of jazzed to be important enough that the Primogens are talking to him, but would very much rather just figure out this mess before we start trying to figure out all the Primogen nonsense.
One mess before jumping into the whole dumpster waste.
Exactly.
That's fair. That's fair. Next up, we have Dimitri.
Hi, I'm Justin. I'm playing Dimitri from Clan Ventru. And as far as Dimitri's impression, he's just surprised it didn't happen sooner. I mean, really. We've been making waves, kicking ass, taking names. It's about time people noticed us. I mean, I've been here all of like 3 weeks, so I'm just saying.
How
Why
much
didn't this
faster
happen
could it have
like
gone?
2 weeks ago?
As soon as he got off the plane, listen, I need you to just take over the Primogen for me. That'd be great.
Short
I
of
can do
shooting the
this.
prince in episode 1, how much faster could we have gone?
Oh,
So yeah,
good to know. Good to know. And last but not least, Matthew.
Hi, I'm Richard. I'm playing Matthew of Clan Lasombra. Matthew is only vaguely aware that the Coterie has been approached by anybody. He is not yet he's sort of he's the junior member. He is the member he is the member to be named later, possibly if Dimitri doesn't blow him up. However, Matthew as a Lasombra, part of him wants to just get to the point where he feels like his life isn't under threat, but also has acknowledged that he's a Lasombra and a political creature, so his life is always going to be under threat, and he's going to play politics, and that's just the way it's going to be.
You're not wrong. I feel that not only La Sombra is always under threat, but Kindred in general, as a small recap of stuff that you guys have had to deal with over the last couple of nights, of not only these FBI agents that are posing as members of the Inquisition, but also hunters and possibly anarchs, which last session you guys actually went into a individual sort of haven and decided that this is, you guys are able to help us in a way of causing distraction, being loud, and we can help you guys go ahead and we can get your Baron back. Posing as a group of anarchs from LA that are supposed to come in, and definitely not correcting goes a long way. But you were able to go ahead and get them on their side. You guys go ahead and Eva did exchange numbers with this Bruja Anarch, and they did agree that they would go ahead and just provide that distraction. Just got to know when and where. You guys decided that you guys are going to head back to your haven, pick up the stuff that you guys need, and then head off in that direction back towards the municipal building downtown, and that it will happen tonight. But as you guys are arriving back into your haven through the. Are you guys taking the back way with Matthew in tow? Or are you guys going to go through the front entrance?
Front door, I think.
Okay. You guys go ahead and go through the front entrance with your new accomplice, if you will, knowing this coterie. As you guys go ahead and walk in, Matthew, you look around and you see this very well and ornate looking nightclub. Looks almost completely stocked. Looks almost ready to go. Maybe missing a very few touch-ups here and there, but the wall is just covered in beautiful art from different eras, different types of art. Tables are very pristine, very well cleaned off. The bar is just immaculate, filled with different sort of spirits. But it looks like it's just about ready to open, but it is noticeably not yet. But you do see that there, as you guys walk in, Dimitri, your head of security, walks up to you.
I'll step away from the group and kind of, take him
Yeah.
off to the side.
And this is the part where I will note that perception plus awareness difficulty 3 for any of those guards looking through the camera. I seem to make the camera glitch.
Very. Thank you for reminding me. The head of security, as you saw her pull him aside, Dimitri, you see him reach up to his earpiece. Double check it one more time just to make sure. Boss, we're looking through it, but I believe we have a short in the security cameras and in our technology. So we're double checking it though, but just want to make sure that you are aware for tomorrow's opening, and we're still on track for tomorrow. Is that correct? I just want to make sure to let the rest of security know as well.
Yes, as long as we survive tonight, we should be fine.
Wonderful. And just in preparation for tomorrow's big security, are we expecting a small, soft opening, or just a full explosion and ready to go?
Be ready for the big show, is what I'm saying. It's going to be big. Blow the doors right off the joint.
Perfect. And the guards that we have watching our guest, should they be pulled from to make sure that security is held in tight, or should we be keeping an eye on him as well? I mean, either way, we're fine, but I just want to make sure that we have all our bases covered versus having at least 2 of our people watching this individual.
Let's leave our guys on that, and then why don't you, hire some extra security just for the night? It's a big day.
Yeah, I'll see if there's anyone left at the our contract holder, and see if there's anyone that we could borrow for the evening for tomorrow's opening, sir. Anything else I should be aware of before going into tonight for you?
Nothing comes to mind. Anything happening around here I need to know about?
Actually, yes. We had that, that issue that we had a few nights ago with the door opening on its own, and the lock not being able to latch for some reason. We had that guy come back out and look at the door.
Yes.
He fixed it, supposedly said there was nothing wrong with it. But we did see that it happened again maybe about 45 minutes ago, sir. So would you like me to put another call out, or?
Yes, but go ahead, check cameras. Make sure you don't see no one creeping around.
Yes, I will absolutely do that, sir. Should I look
Okay.
anywhere in particular, or?
Just make sure the door where it opened. Yes, look there.
Yep, you got it.
And if you see somebody, follow them. Okay. Let
Understood.
me know immediately, though.
Understood. Yes. Perfect. Be right back. And he sort of dismisses himself and walks back towards the head security area that's beyond and out of sight.
I'll kind of stroll back to the other two. Okay, so Carter, where you do this thing where you look around and see people who like to hide, maybe do that now. I think we have another unwanted guest.
Another jeez. Okay.
The door
Yeah.
pop open.
I mean, are we sure it was just like not a faulty door or something?
Really, bro? Come on.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
What about you, Big Matt? You can see these people who like to hide? Hmm?
Nope, I do the hiding, not the peeping.
Smacks Carter on the shoulder. You hear that, you peeping Tom, huh?
Yikes.
It was one time, man. It was one time.
I believe that.
All right.
Did your guys tell us which door?
It would have been the main entrance, like you guys would have walked in through.
It's about 45 minutes to go.
So it could be anywhere. All right, I start looking around to see if I can spot the hidden Nosferatu.
Wow, how bold of you to assume that it's a Nosferatu, you know?
Oh, crap, where'd Eva go? Eva.
You guys did see Eva come in, and then sort of at the mention of a possible intruder, you do see she sort of just, her vision sort of fades and she melds with the background.
I've got to learn how to do this.
It's pretty handy.
I don't have to like drink her blood or anything, do I? That would be really weird.
Something you do notice, Matthew, as you're sort of taking in, obviously you're not sensing any sort of supernatural, but you do notice there are quite a few shadows that are also in play here. It's not like super bright neon lights stopping you from doing any sort of thing, but just giving you know as well, there is definitely some places where you could see yourself or a member of your clan hiding if necessary as well.
Well, like a good online RPG player character, I will pick the shadowy side of the table to take my seat.
That is one success. Do you want to use any willpower to re-roll any of those, Carter?
I was actually about to look at. I think I get a 1 die power bonus from being blood potency 3 at the moment.
You do for level 1 and 2 abilities.
Yeah, and that is level 1.
Yep.
So let me add a die.
I forgot you are Super Carter currently. Blood bags have no bounds.
Woof. Okay, then yes, I will spend to re-roll 4.
Okay. You can only re-roll 3, by the way. A max of 3.
Right, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
You're good.
Carter needs a Capri Sun kegger.
Not currently. He doesn't. He needs bodies. Ooh, that's a.
That's 2 at least.
Yeah, it's 2. As you're looking around, sitting on top of the bar, sort of arms crossed, just looking, you do see a individual just sort of sitting there.
Okay. Dimitri. I'll point the guy out.
Like, do you do it subtle?
Oh, yeah, because Carter's incredibly subtle. Yes, I
He's
will
right
do
there!
it subtle.
Get him!
Yeah. No, I'm doing it subtle.
All right.
Okay. I'll try to keep it chill and try to like stroll over towards the bar, like I'm going behind it. You boys want a drink?
You look pretty well stocked.
Indeed, we are. Hmm.
As you go ahead and wander over, um, Carter, you can definitely see the person sort of very slowly get up on their feet and sort of rotate, keeping it like trying to put their back in a way that no active kindred that they could see is flanking behind them, and sort of just like getting almost like cat like, where their feet are on the bar and their hands are sort of in front of it, just sort of slowly moving. But definitely noticeable that they're, you can see them actively moving while trying to keep an eye on Dimitri, who's moving towards the bar. But it doesn't look like he's noticed that he's been made. Just trying to.
When I get behind the bar, I'll, take down a couple of glasses. Scotch and soda, correct, Matt?
Sounds lovely.
I'm gonna step away for a second.
So I'll grab
You're good.
a bottle of scotch and screw the top off and pour it in. Then I'll grab the soda gun and then I'll just spray down where Carter indicated.
You go ahead and spray the soda, and it just sort of you can see now the outline of where this person was, and then they sort of
Drink and a show.
once the ruse has been made, he'll go ahead and drop the cloak and could have just said you saw me, but he sort of like tries to wipe his hands off.
Too.
I mean, yes, I could have. And what you see before you is a individual wearing a rather nice suit, now heavily soaked in soda water, but all the features look very plain. Like if you were to see this kind of crowd, nothing would make you think that this guy's any sort of special. I could have, but I feel like we spoke earlier that we needed to talk. Is this a safe place to do so?
Do I recognize this guy?
You do not recognize this guy at all.
When exactly is it that you and I talked?
I believe you called my IT firm.
This totally doesn't look like the guy I saw before. Is this any of the guys he's ever taken before?
No, it is not. The only time you've ever seen him is whenever he's been full Nosferatu glory. Is anytime you've ever
Gotcha.
seen him. But
Is the information you need to discuss with me something that is okay for all ears to hear? I'll say, kind of motioning towards Matt.
yes, that should be just fine as long as you trust them, and then it is fine. And as long as there is no other primogen or other individuals of the court around as well.
The problem is no offense to you, Matt, but we just really kind of met.
Absolutely.
So
I understand completely.
So if you wouldn't mind step outside for a cigarette, and we'll call you back in when everything is okay.
Sure. I have some notes to make anyway. I have an idea.
Yeah, if it's like what you did earlier, I am sure it will be fantastic.
We'll see. Good luck to you. And yeah, Matt will.
Indeed.
Hey, before I go, you have cameras outside?
A few, nothing too major. Why?
Where should I stand so that you don't have to explain over and over again?
No, you just go outside, take a left. There's a column on the front side of the building. Just right in there, there's a nice bit of shadow. Really hard to see.
Perfect. Thanks.
Indeed.
go ahead and make your leave and begin to make your notes. As after he leaves, he looks around one more time. Eva, are you still around? Okay. I'm assuming that she's not, and that I'm not about to die as soon as. Okay. Um, and as he sort of mutters to finish the sentence, you can see the guise that he wears fade to show his true form, as this is none other than the one, the only, oh so great and so wonderful. Almost called him Bart. Augustine.
I'd have been more excited if it was Bart.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, I'm back with my tiny little Malkavian, so, you know. As with all Malkavians, who knows how this is going to go. I may have to step off here.
That's
but
all
I think
right.
she's okay.
That's your blood potency 3 Capri Sun right there.
True.
Definitely less crunchy than the last one.
That's very true. Yes, we
You are taking a big risk coming here.
we could be. But you are.
I mean, it is possible the Primogen have us under surveillance. Other members, as you say, this what was her name? The woman from the
Nessa.
Toreador? Nessa, yes. If she is as dedicated to the destruction, downfall of the prince as you say, this could be an opportunity to put you between a rock and a hard place, as they say.
It could be. Definitely could be, but her style is typically a little bit more forward, as far as I've been aware of, in different operations that she's taken place in over the past few centuries. But I know we discussed multiple things and opportunities of us partnering. I just wanted to see exactly if you guys had any sort of update or if you guys needed anything to get this ball rolling.
You know, Augustine, we talked about it as a coterie. We discussed it at length, the offer that you made us. And while we do believe that it is fair, and it does have a very high potential to benefit us quite extensively in the long run, we also see a lot of positives to doing this on our own.
I see. Understood.
Please do not take it as a slight. As I stated, it is a great opportunity, and your offer was more than courteous and fair, but is something where we feel like in order to really win back the prince's respect, we need to do this on our own. I know you would be subtle. I have no doubts of this. However, it does also give you opportunity to then use that as leverage over us in the future.
Seems like you've been doing this longer than I expected, Dimitri.
Well, you know, we all put heads together. You know, a few things fall out when we knock heads. You know they say.
Well, then,
But rest assured, we will accept no assistance from anyone. If we were to be approached by any other member of the Primogen, we are doing this on our own. We would not accept their assistance either. This is nothing personal. This is just something we feel that we need to do.
Well, if I can respect and understand a young coterie making their first steps. And even though it was us knocking heads together that caused this in some roundabout way, I do wish you the greatest of luck. Um, but with that being said, if my services is not required, then I must bid you adieu and head back to continue my research.
Will you be attending the grand opening tomorrow?
Uh, I would love to. Would love to.
Excellent. Yes, we will be having a small reception before we actually open the doors. We would appreciate it if you would attend.
Of course. Anyone notable that I should not mention the reception to?
I feel it would be justified for us to invite everyone of significance. If you would like to assist with perhaps a list, that would be greatly appreciated, and I would owe you a favor.
A favor. It's very, very bold. Let's see if you can complete this task. To put a little weight behind said favor. No offense or any slight of that kind, but
None taken. It is a big task to undertake. I understand. We may not be alive tomorrow to even have a grand opening. But if we are, it would be appreciated if we could know the right people, so to speak, to invite.
of course, of course. Um, and roughly about this time, Matt, you see a large sort of not quite like a large U-Haul, but one of the smaller box trucks pull up to the front of the nightclub.
Being already in shadows, I will pull them more tightly around me like a space blanket, so that I'm just a hole in the darkness, nothing to concern themselves with.
Okay. Whatever they're moving, it is a decent size, but it looks like it is covered with some sort of cloth. Not very thick of a thing they're moving either. Maybe like 6 inches across, like this way, and then maybe maybe 3 to 4 feet tall. And there's
How
sort
many people are
of
how many people are carrying it?
2 individuals. Sort of as this conversation is happening, Dimitri, you receive a text message on your phone from your head of security. I believe you're muted if you said something. I'm sorry.
I'll be like, excuse me for one moment. I apologize, and I'll pull the phone out and take a look.
Sir, there's a it looks like your delivery is being sent towards the front doors.
Okay, well, go greet them, make sure they have the proper paperwork, do the right thing.
Yes, sir. Just want to make sure that you're aware.
Are we expecting delivery?
I know I wasn't anything personal. I didn't know if you ordered anything.
I haven't ordered nothing.
I'll send a couple extra guys to go verify it, sir.
Make sure they're well armed, okay?
Yeah, we'll send not necessarily myself, but a couple of and We'll say your other favorite.
Feels good.
As you guys sort of see a door open, they stay to the side, and sort of continue heading towards the front door. And you can hear this a very, very faint sound of a discussion happening. If you don't mind, and you sort of see, you guys see see Augustin sort of stay very still and sort of fade for a moment.
No, that's cool. Understandable.
You do see your two members of security walking in with this big box, and bring it towards you, but stay off to the side and just sort of await to be told to walk closer with it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a coffin, does it?
No, it looks like something. No, it does not. It's not that wide or anything.
Okay. I'll
This is a coffin
does
for
it maybe look like
ants.
a painting?
It does look like it could be some sort of painting that would be sent in.
Was there any sort of note or anything that came with it? Any invoice? Hmm?
Yeah. It looks like it was a painting.
No, just pass it. Give it here.
Sure. And he goes ahead and just says one portrait.
Any name on it? Like who sent it?
Who sent it? It does not say of
Yeah.
who it was sent from, but it does have a so like as like one portrait, and then underneath has a little bracket, and it sort of has like a description, and it says like male, mid-40s, well dressed.
I think I know what this is. If it is what it is, she's good. She's very good.
I'm gonna make a note of the truck's driver's license plate.
Okay, perfect. Do you open it or just leave it inside a set box, or do you just leave them holding it?
No, I'll be like, put it on the bottle. I'll open it up in just a moment.
Of course. And they go ahead and put it down. It does say fragile on the top of it in real big, like painted on letters. So they put it down very carefully and head back towards security.
Well, that was not the way I did this. Yeah. I thought shit was about to happen. You know what I mean?
As you're sort of having this conversation, you see Augustin sort of appear as everything sort of fades back into view for him. I also did. I was very sure I was not being followed, but you can never be too careful.
Yeah, I know. With Nosferatu running around, huh? Smack him on the shoulder.
He looks down at the shoulder, looks back up at you, looks back at the shoulder. Anyway.
No, sorry.
Yeah, yes. But no, I can. Like I said, I can understand why you guys feel like you need to do this, and as of right now, I would say the people you should probably be worrying about is just the Primogen and the Prince. If
Okay.
you really feel like you want to invite the Prince's scourges, feel free to do that. But if you ask me, the Sombra have no place.
Oh. Well, okay.
It's my personal
hey, tell
preference.
me
Nothing.
something.
Yes.
I hear. Now, this is what they say. I hear that in order for the Sombra to be accepted back into the Camarilla, he has to kill another Sombra. Is it true?
And his reaction is sort of like he was off put a little bit, that is the rumor, and of course it can change from prince to prince. But overall, it looks like it being used as a limiter, if you will.
It's
the La Sombra left for a reason, and it's because they wanted to embrace the inner beast more than would be acceptable for the Masquerade.
yeah, I try to stay out of this stuff. Coterie, he's a nerd. He likes that stuff.
I look up from my book. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just busy getting shit done. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the reason why we reached out to you.
It's good. So I see you tomorrow.
I hope. And he sort of smiles.
Eh, it's no big deal. It's going to be good. It's fine.
Now, if there's nothing else that you need from me or my organization, I will be. If you would excuse me, I must take my leave.
Indeed. Can you make sure that you don't disappear again on this? When you get outside, you can do that, but be a sign of
I will make sure to leave under my normal guise, if you will.
Thank you.
As he goes
It's
ahead
much
and
appreciated.
once again, his very just plain looking face sort of reappears over the hideous facade that he has, and he begins to walk towards the front door. As he passes through the threshold, for a moment, Matthew, you see him look over to your general direction, but sort of shake his head and move on. Almost like he saw something out of the corner of his eye, but when he went to go further look, nothing was there.
It's worth noting, my power does not work like Obfuscate. It just gives me 2 extra dice in stealth.
Yep. Sort of looks over and sort of visibly shivers as he walks forward.
Don't be afraid of the dark.
Oh shit!
It sort of just continues walking, and it's sort of weird to see as he's walking towards a light post. He walks, if it's a light post here, he walks behind it, and as you would sort of expect, he sort of vanishes as he goes behind the pole, just for that brief moment, and it sort of disappears into the night. Shortly after, you hear the door open that leads down towards the rest of the underground portion of the club, as Eva is moving with very quick speed out. Was he the only one here? Do we know?
Who says that?
Eva does. As she sort of
Yeah.
rushes out of the door.
He was the only one Carter saw.
Hunter's missing.
I'm sure he was the only one. Whoa.
Okay, that's a problem.
Agreed.
Open
Everything
the front door.
Hunter has everything here.
Open the front door. Can I come back from the kids' table?
Come on in, Matt. I thought he said he have something to do.
He was going to handle it in the morning.
What happened when you call his cell phone?
It rings on his bed where I found it.
Did you chip him like animal?
No, because I don't believe that's how they should be.
I'm going to do it to mine.
Dimitri, that's a whole lot of ethics I just don't really have the time to get into currently.
Okay. What you need us do? You want us help find him?
No, we have too much to get prepared for. I'm going to take a look around and see if he's just maybe out and about. I'll be back. If I'm not back by showtime, look for me afterwards.
Oh, you better be back by showtime.
I'm hoping as well
Real.
too. But I also know how important this is and how much time we put into it. So that comes first. Find me after.
Okay.
And she sort of takes off running towards Matt and towards the front door. And right before she sort of gets to the front door, Matt, you can see that she sort of mid run just sort of disappears in front of you, and the door slams open and runs out.
You got somewhere to be. You got somewhere to be.
Yes. There's some. You think there's hanky panky there, Carter?
I mean, I do now.
I just say, that's the most emotion I've seen Eva have.
I agree. It's the scariest thing we've seen yet.
Uh-huh. God forbid she find him with the other woman. Oh.
I'm pretty sure she can handle whoever the other woman might be.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, God forbid for him and for her and for everyone in building. It's be bloodbath.
That's a fair point.
So now what do we do?
Well, speaking of things that I'm not supposed to know, there were things you didn't want to tell me until we got back here about your guest, your plans, and that big thick folder of with pictures of staked vampires in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You don't really know. Yeah.
Where do we
It's
start?
long story. I sum up. Okay. We hear about the thing with the Enoch vampire have big party, right? Woo. So the prince wants to go check it out. We go, they say, all right, we're going to kill all Camarilla. We're like, okay, no, that's no good. So we blow them all up. Kill like 53 or something. And then, so they, Baron, he was there, his name was Joshua. I don't know if you're familiar. He was still alive, along with a couple of others. The Second Inquisition, you've heard of, yes?
I've heard the name in passing. This taps the he taps the folder. I presume this is theirs.
Yes, they came for cleanup. They were already in town, so it's not like we attracted the attention and brought them to town. They were already here. Most likely Enoch's doing stupid stuff like gathering in mass and having big party and eating lots of people, that kind of thing that tend to attract the attention. So we go back because the prince is mad at us for blowing up stuff. He wants to know how many people we killed. We're like, okay, we go look. Okay, we don't know. And we find out that it's, these FBI guys, that they are actually part of the Second Inquisition. And so we track them to a gas station. We kill them, except for one. And he wants to become, vampire. So Carter's like, okay, cool. Now he lives in basement as a group.
There's some nuance you're leaving out of that story.
Is there?
I mean, there's a little of nuance.
Okay, so it's this FBI Second Inquisition squad. That's why we have to go break into the government building.
Well, we have to go break into the government building because when the prince found out that we did this, because the guy who was just here, he overheard us talking about it and kind of ratted us out a little bit. So he killed my cousin or brother or whatever you want. He was.
God.
Anyway, so he killed him. They staked Eva's boss. Eva's sire, and nothing really happened to Carter's sire because she's from a different area, and they think the prince is a moron anyway. So. So she seems like she's going to be cool. She says she have to go away for a little while. I don't know what that means. But anyways, so we had bright idea. We go and tell Prince, we're like, hey, this happened. We thought truth was the best result. And it turned out pretty good, honestly, all things considered. But Carter had to open his mouth and be like, you know what would be better punishment for us if we go and rescue the Baron from, Second Inquisition stronghold. And so now that's what we do for punishment. It could be worse, we could be dead.
Yep. I now see why Bart thought it was funny that I was being voluntold into this assignment.
Oh yeah, you drew the really short straw.
So this is a government group that knows vampires exist, and so they have a couple on ice.
My understanding is not necessarily that it's entirely government, but they do have their claws in some parts of the government.
Like the FBI.
But they do know of the supernatural's existence. Not only us, according to Bound Downstairs, they have a mage, a man who can actually do real magic, and a werewolf.
Cool story. Okay. Okay, so why haven't they ratted us out?
Why haven't who?
I got a file folder here with a guy with a stake through his chest and a picture. Mm-hmm. Why isn't that picture on 60 Minutes?
Photoshop, my friend.
And okay, then why isn't the FBI going, you, crime beat guy, come up here, let me show you that there are these undead things preying on the world. Why are they keeping it? Why are they keeping our secret?
Okay, like, right now, there are people on this earth who honestly believe that it is flat. Their numbers grow by the day. Conspiracy theories run deep. This is the point of the Masquerade. To keep people second guessing, to never believe what is true, what is not. So try to convince someone. You go out in the street, you go full vamp, you eat somebody's face. Like, 20 people see it, 4 people believe it's real. The other 16, they're like, it's fake. It was movie stunt.
Sure. But I mean, taps the folder. There must be a reason why they have detailed records, know who we are, know what we are, and aren't telling people.
It's so that they can wage the war against us?
But that's
and
something,
kill us. They're quite good at it.
But that's something we can use.
You think?
They have secrets to keep too.
I think we risk more during exposure.
I'm not trying to think of blackmailing or anything. Not directly. More like, well, we have what are our assets? We have a tremendous amount of destructive potential and the anarchs too.
We have the location of their operation. We have access to the secret backdoor along with code number and card key. We know kind of how it operates. We've been given instructions about kind of the way they conduct things, which is what makes us worried about you. We need to speak with him to see what protocol is if suddenly cameras start glitching. They may be aware that this could happen in the presence of some kindred or a magician, and they may immediately lock us down.
What if?
And these guys, Carter, show him, Carter, show him.
Oh yeah, well you can't. There's not much to see anymore. I'm mostly healed. But they have white phosphorus rounds that hurt a lot.
Yeah, blow big holes in you. And UV flashlights. Apparently, the whole place is equipped where they can shut it down, turn on UV lights, or roast us like chicken.
So I guess my question would be, if we have access to information about their protocols, what would need to happen for them to box up those vampires and run them to somewhere else?
Well, that's what we're hoping the Anarch attack will do, create confusion, and then the protocol hopefully would be to remove them, and we are the ones who will take them out of the building.
I'm just trying to figure out whether or not we could get them to whether or not we could get them to bring them to the door for us. Getting into getting into prison places is always easier than getting out.
The problem is that our informant isn't overly familiar with the place. He's been there a few times, but never like into the bowels, so to speak.
Well, but that's the point. So go ahead.
I was going to say, there's also a concern that they may not intend to move them alive. If they go into lockdown, they may just finish the job.
Which is bad news for us. And I don't know if they told you that you would probably, die with us because you're dragged into this. I don't know.
They didn't have to tell me.
Oh, okay.
But I've been living the Dread Pirate Wesley life ever since my sire goaled me in the first place.
I am not familiar with reference.
Good night, job well done. Most likely kill you in the morning.
He said this to you?
In the same way that it was made clear I was not expected to survive what we're about to do. Yeah.
Interesting. So, do we want to speak with your ghoul?
It seems like we probably should. Yeah, no, we need to figure out if I'd like to find out a little bit more, especially around what's going to happen if Matthew goes down there, but then also what's going to happen if the alarm gets raised.
Well, let's go have a little conversation.
You raise a good point about the mage too. I mean, is that something that we can take advantage of?
Well, if you remember what the Nosferatu say, he say that Gimble, the other guy, Crispy. Remember, he make deal with Werewolf to escape. So there is Werewolf. If we help him get out, we can just turn him loose. Get a little bit of revenge.
We don't really get on with werewolves very well, though.
Well, you don't have to. You say, look, I unlock you. You go kill them, not me. We fight some other day.
Suppose it depends on whether or not they lose their temper as easily as we do.
You're just stacking up complications for us, Dimitri.
Since day one.
There is a certain logic to piling on the chaos.
Oh, I don't disagree. I just like to give him a hard time.
I know my lot in life. Make things more difficult for Carter and Eva. Let's go find Ghoul. We talk to him.
Yeah, let's go talk to Drake. We should also probably decide if we're going to let him out or not.
I honestly, you know how I feel about these. I know.
Well, I mean, if something were to happen to him in the middle of the night, I mean, I couldn't really stop you, could I?
I know, but you and I are, we're friends. I don't want to kill your ghoul if you don't want him dead.
Not while he's useful.
I mean, if you go, hey, I like this guy, I want to keep him around, I will begrudgingly accept your decision.
No, he seems like a pain in the ass.
Well, if everything he say proves to be true, then maybe he's more trustworthy than I give him credit for.
That's a fair. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see how his intel holds up.
And also give him more blood tonight.
Yeah.
All right, we'll head down to the basement.
Oh, what, are you gonna open your painting?
I get to it. I think I know what it is, but I like to save as a surprise.
All right, as long as you're not sure it's dangerous, or as long as you're sure it's not dangerous, rather.
Oh, Dimitri. So you guys go ahead and head downstairs. And Matt, as you sort of head down with them, you can see sort of a set of multiple rooms that have been set up and decorated in different ways to sort of let each kindred stay here comfortably in the way that they would like the rooms to be. But you also do see that there is a large library off to the side as well. But as you guys sort of walk into the first room at the base of the stairs, you do see that there are two guards sort of standing out and watching as well, two members of the security. And they sort of both sort of nod at you as you guys enter. And you guys see Drake sort of standing and looking around.
Hey, big guy.
Hey, back so soon.
Yeah, we found a new friend.
Does he bite?
Hi. Only when asked nicely.
Only if he's hungry.
Those
We
are
assume so. We actually haven't seen it happen.
all three very different answers, which is slightly concerning.
We're still in the feeling out period, so
Right.
But you understand that, right?
Of course. This whole thing's new to me, so your guess is as good as mine is, honestly. What's new? As he sort of shows his hands.
Are you thirsty? I'll kind of shove Carter forward a little bit.
Subtle, bro.
I mean, not in particular, but if you would like.
Well, we had a few more questions, and assuming we like the answers, we'll take the next step and get you just that much closer.
Of course. What is your questions?
What sort of precautions does the site have if they detect camera abnormalities or anything like glitches, anything like that?
Like tinkering from the outside?
Well, certain of us cause cameras to go fuzzy or strange. It would look like a glitch, probably.
Did
But
either
it
of
could
you
look
bring your
like
phone?
tampering.
Did either of you bring your phones down here?
I'm
Yeah,
pulling
probably
my
have
phone out of my pocket.
Yeah, just turn on the camera. Show him.
Okay, I turn the camera on and point it at him.
His eyes go a little wide. Interesting. I mean, if it's continual, they'll probably get suspicious at best. But to be fair, this is the first time I've seen anything like this before. So whether or not they have a protocol, that's beyond me. Again, I can only say what I've known from the couple times I'm passing, but as far as I'm aware of, there's no protocol for whatever the hell that is.
Rude.
No, not you. What is happening to your phone? Actually, was meaning more of.
I smack him on the shoulder.
Nice
I
recovery.
got you. I got you.
Yeah.
And I know you may not know, but if they detect a threat to the site, are they likely to move their prisoners or kill their prisoners?
Oh, prisoners will absolutely be executed. The only things that would probably be moved are the documents inside or any intel that they might have from the experiments. If they're not already just uploaded to their private servers.
Well, that's inconvenient.
Do prisoners ever get handed off to partner organizations?
No. Maybe not partner organizations, but different branches might. But really, it's mostly if the church itself decides it wants to step in.
The church?
Yeah, well, good old Church of Leopold.
Is it Catholic?
I don't freaking know, man. It's the big guns that they talk about bringing in, and if stuff really hits the fan. They've been hunting these, rumored at least. They've been hunting, well, us now. That's weird to say. Been hunting us since, well, arguably since the Templars were around the first time. You see, the Templars
They
were
are-
out looking for crime and demons, but what they came across are, well, you guys, for some of you that are that old.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
I didn't mean you directly. I apologize.
I lost a lot of good friends.
He sort of looks you up and down, Dimitri.
I don't think I could keep this.
I smack him.
He sort of takes it back, but you do, all of you, even without really actively trying, can sense that something is off about him now.
What's the matter, Drake?
He takes a very deep breath in. I think we've met before. Looking at you, Dimitri.
What? Where do you think we meet?
3.5 weeks ago, maybe? 3 weeks ago? You're not from
Is it?
here, are you?
Well, you know, Jersey. No, I'm not from here.
Look, you guys have been upfront with me enough that I feel like it should go both ways, and whatever happens, he's looking at this point, looking at you, Carter. Whatever happens, happens. You say you lost a lot of people, and your accent makes me think that I might have been on the other end.
Where were you 3.5 weeks ago?
Cutting down a large underground group of kindred who were pretending to be mobsters. I don't think
I'm
you
going
need
to
know.
step out
where
of
it
the
was.
room for a moment, Carter. Think about what I said before. I pat you on the shoulder. I go to work off a little energy.
I need you to roll a frenzy check for me first before you exit the room, please.
Damn it!
I'm almost sorry, I promise. Almost.
No, you're not.
Okay,
Not even
you're
Not sorry at
remotely.
all.
You're not wrong, okay? I'm just trying not to be the horrible guy, okay?
Okay, Matt. Looks like I got 3 successes.
3 successes. You
Yeah.
barely hold it together. As you keep your beast and inner thoughts from showing exactly what you would like to do, and you steel yourself and control your body and begin to leave the room.
Get the information. I'll close the door with so much ferocity that it like almost comes out of the frame.
Yeah, you guys actually see on the inside the frame, it just sort of buckles a little bit from the door connecting and locking behind. I didn't know. I really didn't until he started talking, and then
I mean, that could have gone worse. Could have gone a lot better, though.
I mean, you're not wrong, and who's to say that it's not going to become worse as soon as you leave?
Well, you have some important choices to make then, Drake.
Yeah.
And gonna pull my chair a little closer, turn around, sit a little closer to him, and I'm gonna make a rouse check as my shadow starts extending out to cover him.
Oh, no. And you sort of see he, like, winces back a little bit as you get closer and sit down in front of him, and... Ooh.
Under two.
Your beast, as you get closer, you can just sort of almost smell the fear coming from him. As he is a ghoul, he can still sweat, and you can still just feel and smell that fear that he is realize of what Dimitri now knows, and you getting closer in this capacity. But he's still trying to hold his ground, and you can just hear in the back of your voice one very quick bite, and it would all be over. This whole issue would be done.
Shifting around the shadows in my shadow cloak to go from plus stealth to plus intimidation. Drake, do you understand how precarious your position is?
Go ahead and roll charisma plus intimidation with that bonus, please. And go ahead and take a extra bonus die, because his not sire, but his kindred is also within range. I'm trying to think of what's even called. It's not a kid, it's not a sire. What is that? Regnant. That's what it's called.
Well then, how about 7 successes?
Jeez. You see him sort of jump back a little bit as the cloak sort of very old school, and as you are beginning to fill the room, Carter, I don't know how much experience you've had with La Sombra, but all the shadows from all the lights that are sort of coming from above you, the shadow begins sort of wraps around at the base of him, and then begins to sort of climb up and make a cloak that almost like makes him feel just larger than life. And you just sort of see Drake sort of shriver back a little bit. Yeah. I know that. I can tell that.
As I put everyone into a Frank Miller comic. So, Drake, I call you. I'm sorry, I didn't ask. Is it okay if I call you Drake?
No, that's as long as you don't call me dinner, that's fine.
Oh well, It's not dinner time yet. So, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull a small cigar out of a case in my pocket, light it. The match being like the only light in the room for a second. So, I think it's safe to say I don't get a vote on whether or not you live or die here. Dimitri and I just met, which means that your existence is going to be largely dependent on how happy you make Carter.
His eyes begin to shift between you and Carter.
I suppose it's possible Eva might intervene for you, but let's be honest, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let's start with this. Have you had any interactions with the church elements of your little quest?
No.
What is the policy of your organization in terms of keeping the existence of the supernatural hidden from the public?
At all costs.
Why?
Do you know what happens when you tell a mall that there's a bomb in the building?
Yeah, but when I tell people that a group of a certain religion is out to kill us all, I get a global war on terror, which is worth billions of dollars in profit. So sell me again.
Now, take that metaphor of that bomb being in a building and not being able to tell everyone who is holding that bomb. And that your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your father could all be holding said bomb. And you would be none the wiser. Imagine the panic that would cause.
That's oddly civic-minded from organizations that come up with phrases like "never let a crisis go to waste."
You probably thank the church for that.
I'll put an extra couple of bucks in the collection plate.
Look, they wanted to get rid of us.
Who's they?
The Inquisition. I'm not part of them anymore. Part of you
I
guys
see.
now.
I got you.
Anything supernatural that's a threat on human life, they want to get rid of one way or another. But at the same time, they don't want to cause a mass panic where then humans begin to fire upon humans more so than we already have going for us now. And in this case, from the intel that I had, it's a little bit easier, as well as if the kindreds believe that they were afraid to tell. But they do it out of strategy. They don't do it out of fear.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, imagine it does come out and the Masquerade is gone. Imagine what we could do with our hands untied.
That's another thing. Like, whatever, I don't know what you're talking about, the Masquerade, but if it became public news and that everyone fully believed that the things that haunt the night are true, just a fraction of what I've seen alone within these group of people, let alone the thousands of hours of research that I've gone through on different kindred from different regions of the world. And it's not even like one thing. It's not like one country or one state is at issue. It's the whole world that'd be on terror. And as far as I'm aware of, especially off what Carter says, I've seen you guys do some messed up stuff. No offense.
Oh, none taken. So, let me posit a scenario to you and to you, Carter. There's an incident that calls the security of the build of your headquarters into question, but is not like an immediate existential threat. At around the same time, a church element says, "Hey, give us your blank bodies. We have some experiments to do."
It would be handed over. I don't know what they have as protocol on the church half, but they seem to reign above any other organization that was also a part of the Second Inquisition.
Look at Carter. As much as I'm not familiar with the ones that specifically hunt vampires, but in my breathing days, I was a canon lawyer. I know how the church writes their documents. This would be it'd be officially under the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith, which is what they renamed the Inquisition in order to stop using that word.
You know more about it than I do.
And the church is disparate enough that you could even get people you don't know asking you for things, and the people you do know don't know about it because one bishop hasn't talked to another bishop. And
That seems advantageous.
I think we can create a vector there. Again, to get so that we don't have to like go into the belly of the beast to drag these people out.
Drake, do you know any of the church people?
Not high enough to matter, honestly.
Is there a church in town they operate out of?
No, that's all overseas at this point.
Even better.
Not to say that, I mean, as again, I don't know a lot about that half of the organization. I just know my division. But that being said, it's not that they probably couldn't stop in and hold up in any of the government facilities they probably own.
Yeah. But that means, turn back to Carter, the directives are going to come from a papal legate, not from the local bishops. If this is something that's being controlled out of Rome.
I mean, again, you know way more about it than I do, but if you say so.
I think we can make that. I think we can make that work, and then we don't necessarily have to go all the way into the building, just to a part of the building where they can do a transfer of some boxes.
From the transfer that I have seen from literally the one time overseas to here, there was a lot of paperwork involved, and they didn't really move anyone outside of the facility or into a different portion to do the transfer. All this paperwork was done with everyone still staked in a secure location.
Sure. So we would need to we bring them the papers. Maybe I hang out at the truck. But before I go like further down this road, maybe we should go see if Dimitri's in a talking mood or not.
And
just so we don't have to
reaches towards
chew
you,
the
Carter.
cabbage twice.
I know what I was. And however your judgment you see fit. I will accept.
Drake, do you know what you are?
Kindred, just like you guys.
I'm nodding. It.
Well, maybe like them. I need you to understand something. Especially if we're going to run into each other again, which is possible. They're still vetting me because, well, he leans very close to Drake. I tend to make things go away.
He sort of backs away from Carter a little bit. Right. Clean up Crutus.
Good. I'm going to go check in on Dimitri. I presume you guys have some fluid exchanges you want to engage in.
Lost my appetite, if I'm being honest, but it is what it is. All right.
Eat your vegetables.
And at this point, Drake sort of just like sits down in the chair that he was given and just like puts his hand, hold it above it to his forehead, and just sort of looks at the ground and is shaking his head.
So you think of anything else that you remember from before?
Me and when I met Dimitri? Or before when I was in
Before that.
position?
Yeah, before either of those.
3 tours, 3 separate attacks. It's a lot of things collected. And I can tell you the stuff that you found us on, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's stuff that you wouldn't believe that I've heard stories about.
We'll have to get to the bottom of that, won't we?
I guess this depends on what you guys decide.
Yeah, don't worry about them.
That's easier said than done when one's a little shadow monster and the other one wanted nothing more than to just tear you in half.
Well, maybe use a little more discretion in deciding exactly how much truth you're going to tell. To them. To me, obviously. Tell me everything.
Well, it just seemed like the right thing to do. I mean, you've been honest with me in this whole process, and I figured it goes a long way to show the same sort of respect.
Yeah, just if you're gonna be around, you have to start playing the game. And it means thinking several steps ahead.
I got a
And
lot of
knowing who you're talking to.
Yeah, well, you think I would have that one down by now?
Well, we'll be back. Stay here. After, if everything goes well, then we'll be getting you a lot more freedom.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll be here.
All right, I'll go out and see where Dimitri's at.
Dimitri, while this extended conversation was being had, were you just standing out in the hall outside, or is there anywhere
no.
you were heading
No,
off
no,
to?
no. I'm gonna go hunt.
Oh,
I got some
perfect.
steam I gotta let loose.
That's perfectly fair. Go ahead and roll your hunt roll for me, please, based off your predator type.
Is there somewhere on the
I don't think there's one
character
on
sheet?
your.
Alley cat.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Strike plus brawl. I know that one.
I was like, I felt like someone else had that, but I had to double check. Yeah, Yeah, strength plus brawl. Which, if I remember correctly, is a pretty decent one for you.
A very good one.
It was like, you're built for that.
And if it's going to be against an armed mortal, that's my specialty. So.
Ooh, go ahead and add... Oh, an armed mortal? Go ahead and
Yes.
roll an extra die for that specialty.
Okay. That would be 5 successes.
Yeah. As you're just blowing off steam and just taking a walk, you come across, and as you know, the club isn't exactly in the best part of Terre Haute. It's sort of split between the two different halves. And with your sort of extensive look of Terre Haute, you are definitely able to find where some of these shadier people often are trying to make deals or whatever the case may be. So you go ahead and peruse in that general direction. And you happen to find a individual who has actually pulled a weapon and is trying to rob someone currently. Their back is to you, but they have this guy sort of pinned back to the wall and with the knife out and sort of just like tell him, drop the wallet and we don't have an issue.
Okay, so I'll reach over the guy with the knife's shoulder and pin the victim to the wall with my hand, and then I'll just bite into his neck from behind, the killer's neck, the attacker's neck. Just...
Yes. Don't even have to roll for it because one, he doesn't even know you're coming. He just like he looks and he sees the arm pinned over his arm. He looks over, and it's about the time he like looks to get you, like you would been in frame. You sink down, and the person that was the victim, eyes just go very wide and face goes white. As that person is pinned down. They're trying to get away, but with your strength that you have, you're able to keep them in place and not be able to run, and you're able to feed.
And like the whole time, I'm making eye contact with them while I'm feasting on this person.
And the person as you're feasting is just like you bite into it, and then they sort of flinch a little bit, and then sort of stand there and just sort of very just almost comatose while standing. But the person, on the other hand, is just screaming as you're just feasting upon this individual. How far do you...
Oh, he's gone.
Okay.
I'm taking
I figured as much. I just wanted to ask. So you go down to hunger 0 as you could feel the last drops of blood enter, and you just feel the body just go limp in your mouth.
I'll just kind of drop him, lick my lips, look at the guy, and kind of pick up the body and throw it over my shoulder. And then I'm going to use Cloud Memory.
Go ahead and roll it.
All right. Let's see. Charisma plus Dominate.
Oh, I didn't know you had that one too.
Oh, yeah.
Forget.
That was a Carter trick.
All right. Is there a way to roll Dominate?
I believe
if you
click it, then it'll ask you what.
Okay, and then attribute, we will do Charisma.
And if you could also remind me what I need to roll against.
If our victim is an unprepared mortal, there's no roll.
They are unprepared,
Okay.
but it is not immortal.
Oh, shit!
Oh no!
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
We're so smooth, weren't you? What were we saying about Dimitri adding complications?
I
You
was.
son of a bitch.
They were
I
unprepared. That's
want
for
no
sure.
shit about blood bags for at least a month after this.
You son of a bitch. Okay, what in the heck? No attribute was found. Weird. Okay. I got it. There we go.
I believe in you.
You misplaced faith. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, I shouldn't have any blood
No.
die because I'm at 0 now.
Yeah.
So
So you should just have one success.
one success. Yeah.
And then what am I rolling against that?
That is going to be wits plus resolve.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh God.
They sort of shrug it off. Look down at the blade. Look up to you.
Oh, I still got a hold of their neck.
Yeah. No, they so like it's like. I appreciate it, Tick. Now, could you remove your claws from me?
What are you?
Well, let's just say that would have hurt a little bit more than it probably would have. Someone of not my descent. And when they sort of say that, you see their canines are very elongated.
Ooh. Like vampiric or something different?
Like more of lupine.
Ah. I'll slowly release them.
You need a silver blade? Looking down at the knife that he was holding.
Do I need the silver blade? I'll look at him.
Not for me, but that hunter was tracking me for at least 3 weeks, so I appreciate it nonetheless.
He's Hunter! Ah! This night can't get better. You want beer? Let's go! Smack him on the shoulder.
He's sort of... I appreciate the help, but I'll take a pass.
Hey, here, hold on. Write down my phone number. Look, you ever want to go get drink? Just give me a call. No judge. Hey, if I knew about one of your kind who was perhaps in trouble, like held captive, would you want to, get in on some of this? We got some of our guys are in there too, so we're gonna go take them out, But this guy, he told me there's also, one of you hanging out in there. So I mean, if you want to go in, get this guy. We could use the help.
Do you know where he was captured from?
Plainfield is what they say.
Oh, that idiot.
Oh shit! That means you're probably not going to go after him, huh?
No, he can burn for all I care. And you look at her arm, and you just see there's just a giant scratch mark that goes all the way down from like the top of her shoulder all the way down her arm. It looks like it's healed mostly, but it looks like at one point they were very deep.
He do this?
Yeah.
Would you mind if you maybe give me his name? That way, maybe I can turn him loose and he can do some damage. And if I know his name, maybe he not freak out all over me.
Only because you put a tooth in that hunter for me. But after that, we're done here. Understood?
Hey, you got my number. You want to call? Hey, you call. If not, no big deal.
He has many names, but the one that will get his attention the most is Ragel.
Ragel. Okay. Now that will that like piss him off? Like,
He'll know who sent you.
oh, okay. It's good.
So yes, it will
I'm
piss
gonna-
him off, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, do you have another name that may make him a little more friendly?
I do, but not for you. No, he'll be quite
Okay.
honest.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. No harm, no foul. So you go your way, I go mine, and I get rid of this buddy. Okay? Is this like your normal hunting ground? Because, like, I don't want to step on toes.
No, I'm up for a retreat.
I don't know what that means.
A gathering of lupine.
Oh, so you're not local.
No.
Oh, well, hey, I got a place to crash. You ever need a room, you just let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh, well, I'm going to go now.
Okay, you have good night.
And you see them takes a very big, deep breath as they turn the corner and head off.
Okay. I will pocket that silver switchblade, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'll get rid of the body, but I'm going to take this guy's ID. I'm
Yeah.
kind of interested to kind of know. That's the second hunter we've seen in this community in like less
Very
than a week and a half.
right.
So,
Very very short time.
So yeah, I will find a dumpster or something
Sure.
full of trash, throw him in the bottom, cover him up,
Absolutely.
and then head back to the place, back to the grove.
Those of you in the grove while this is going, you guys have that conversation and you search a decent amount through the grove and unable to find Dimitri. You guys have probably about 10 minutes after you search the entire place before Dimitri will return if you would like to have any sort of conversation or RP before Dimitri returns.
Carter's like, I don't want to talk to this guy.
No, I mean, I do. I just Hunter disappeared. Now Dimitri's not here. Like I'm just what's going on?
Let's do the simple bit first. I will turn to one of the security guys. Where's your boss?
I don't know, but I could call and ask if you would like. But he
So he's
also,
not in. Well,
I mean, we saw him leave. We saw him leave through the.
that's what I needed to know. Thanks.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay. Is he okay? He seemed very pissed, like he was gonna eat our faces.
He's fine.
I think your faces are safe. But you are you are correct in your assessment. He was very pissed. You got a good eye. What's your name?
And you could, the comprehending the conversation that's just taking place. He's like, wait, Carl, sorry.
Nice to meet you, Carl.
I know my
I'm
name.
Matthew.
It's just, look,
It's a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah.
You know how Dimitri is. He probably would say something about keeping you on your toes and
Unfortunately, yeah, probably. He sort of shakes his head and goes back to the security and to continue his patrol.
Okay, so the Bruja I get, the Ventrude is a more aggressive than the ones I've encountered in the past. How do you end up in a war party?
yes, a very good question.
I'm a lawyer. I'm good at those.
I mean, long story short, I was partnered up with these guys to provide some insight and answer some questions for the prince. And one thing led to another, and guilty by association, I guess.
What is your area of specialty, if I may ask?
Oh, blood magic.
Ah. So there's blood
History.
magic involved?
Well, the prince is very concerned with the thin blood problem. And while that's not my area of specialty, it's certainly something I'm capable of researching.
Huh.
Real quick, as you look at that ID, Dimitri, it reads Logan colon.
Reads loading.
Logan colon.
Okay. I thought you said it read loading like it was like an
It's-
EID. I was like, oh,
I don't want this
He's
ID.
from the future.
Leave it. Leave
shit
it.
is like updating in real time.
Little loading wheel spinning.
Right, exactly.
Don't get Shadowrun in our vampire game.
You have the little wizard from Apple just sort of bouncing around.
Is it a local ID or?
Yes, it's an Indian ID.
There we go.
You
There's a
son of a
realization.
Logan colon killed by a vampire.
Yeah, I can only imagine there were like a couple of hunters like hanging out in a van that just watched that horrible ordeal go down.
Maybe off in some, scrying view, maybe there would be.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. But as you are in the process of heading back, please, the two of you continue. I just want to make sure that name was put out there so that way it could be updated.
So what is it you want out of all of this?
To get out of it alive and get back to the library.
Library downstairs?
Well, and we're getting there, but the prince's library.
You work in the prince's library.
I have access to it. Had access to it.
Oh, past tense. It's rough.
Maybe future tense too, if we manage this.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
There are real things to worry about. This petty stuff is temporary.
Even on life is what happens while you're making other plans, though.
That's unfortunately true.
Okay. And so, are you local then?
No, I'm from Chicago.
Are any of the three of you local?
I don't know if Eva's from around here. She doesn't answer a lot of questions. Dimitri's clearly not local.
Not that. You have a. Did you get my phone number off of Luke?
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, I didn't give you my card.
What do you want out of all this?
If this existence has taught me anything, it's get what you can while you can.
We have forever, don't we?
Just because we don't die naturally doesn't mean we can't.
Oh, that's what makes it fun. The books are lots less likely to kill you than all this nonsense.
That depends entirely on the book. But also, my particular family line, we have some struggles with the where those shadows come from.
We'll have to talk in depth. Sounds fascinating.
It's not something I can describe, but if you want to learn,
Roughly about this point, Dimitri begins to walk in.
He's
Hey,
whistling.
Dimitri.
Hey, Carter, my friend.
You all right?
I just had a very interesting evening. I had a
We don't
nice
have time
meal.
for interesting evenings.
I met a werewolf.
What?
I saved her life.
What?
She gave me the name of the werewolf who's in captivity.
How?
It was awesome.
You walked outside. You ran into a werewolf. You
No. See,
told the
this
werewolf our
hunter was like
plans.
totally going to kill this dude, kill this lady, right? I didn't know she was werewolf at the time. He's got her
Sure,
pinned to the
yeah.
wall. He's got a knife out, and I ate him, and then like I tried to make her forget, and she's like, "Hey, not going to happen, buddy." And then we start talking, and she's like, "Hey, there's a silver knife. Do you need this?" I'm like, you do I?" So it was good conversation, and she give me name of guy, and she says it'll piss him off, but she'll know, that's probably a good thing.
How does she know about the guy? You told a werewolf on the street our plans?
No, I didn't like get into details like where he is and all this stuff. I just say, hey, there's a werewolf guy who's captured, and she's like, where he from? I'm like, I Plainfield, and she's like, that guy's a moron. Because I asked her if she want to help, and she's like, nah, not that guy. Because apparently he scratched her up a little bit. She's here for what she say, like jamboree or something.
Doggy daycare?
I don't know. She say she's here for jamboree, corporate retreat, something like this.
You had a whole little conversation with her, huh?
Yeah, we talked for a while. I asked her if she want to go for a drink, but she's like, no, I don't think so. You know, I gave her my number in case she wants to call.
Okie dokie.
What? Why you look at me like this?
I mean, couldn't you just drank a blood bag, man? I mean, like,
No, I was a little hot. I needed to go, work off some of excess energy so I do not kill Drake.
yeah, okay.
It's probably for the best if you go down there alone, because I look at him. So I might need to go back outside.
you want to talk about it?
There's not really much to talk about. I want to kill the man, and I can't right now.
So you have met before. He was correct.
No. See, he go with his friends and kill basically my entire clan.
Oh,
So that's why I'm here. I was in Russia. Everything good. Make good money. Big business. Then, next thing I know, someone rat us out. Somehow, Inquisition show up. I board plane. Next thing I know, there's only 5 of my people left. It's okay. We take many of theirs with us. But still, the fact that he was involved is difficult pill to swallow.
Yeah. Well, we may have to deal with that. But he insinuated he knew some things that would surprise even us.
This is the reason he still lives.
Exactly.
So yeah, but no, it was a good meeting.
All right. What would you guys like to do Next. Gather the supplies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Start getting
Eva
everything
doesn't get back
ready.
soon. Gotta track down Eva and Hunter.
Carter, could you do me a favor? Could you text Luke and tell him to bring the laptop?
Sure.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I forgot you cannot use phones. It's too bad.
It has its ups and downs. It means when we can't figure out how to turn off the Find My Phone function, they find Luke, not me.
Is he a ghoul?
No, not yet.
But he is aware of the game.
He is.
It's just you guys are so interesting.
Blood,
And just Carter says interesting like it's a profanity.
blood is earned, not distributed.
Oh, that I get.
As you guys are heading down to and sort of making multiple trips back and forth to get the vehicle, I'm assuming you guys are loading all of it up into this one of the sedans and not bringing it up. Or I guess, how do you guys want to prepare with all the extra?
Actually, did we burn out the Jeep or did we keep it? I mean the van.
The van,
that
you
we had of
guys
theirs.
you guys burnt it out just in case there was any sort of tracking on it.
Gotcha. What type of vehicle was it? Did it have any specific markings? Was it like an official FBI vehicle? Or
It was
it
an
like
official.
Okay. The parking garage that they've discussed that we're going to enter through, I
Mhm.
mean, is it a regulated parking garage? Do you have to have like specific parking passes, permits? Is it only for government vehicles?
The key card that sort of allows access in also is part of that.
Okay.
So it looks like that is, if you have that, you have access to pretty much anywhere that level of employee would need to be in for either parking and getting from point A to point B.
Okay, so how long has this dude been missing?
At this point, you guys are on the second night since he's been missing. Because after he went missing, they said that they'd only be around for probably 3 more days, and you guys are on night 2 of the 3.
Yeah, we
My
have
concern is, yeah, that I hope they haven't already deactivated his card. That's my
We'll
only
find out.
fear, because he
We'll
hasn't
find out
checked in.
tomorrow.
None of his crews checked in. In 2 days. So if you feel like you can trust him, maybe you put him on a leash and take him to a payphone so he can check in.
go. I feel like we can trust him.
What if
Do
we
you
had
feel
him
like you can trust him?
I mean, if he's playing like 7-dimensional chess with us, we're in so much trouble. It doesn't matter. But I mean, he told you what he told you, knowing the impact it would have. He's thrown himself
He's
at my
still-
mercy. I mean, he's saying the right things. And anybody if he was trying to infiltrate us, he would have kept that crap quiet.
You make a valid point.
But maybe he knows that we know.
Okay, let's not get into like triple agent.
No, I mean, I was bringing it back to the Princess Bride over there, Dread Pirate.
Oh. Well, so what I was thinking you were talking about having him call in is go on quadruple agent to sort of create the vector for the church materials. So his two buddies are going to say, "Hey, we lost him somewhere." He calls, says, "I was attacked by vampires, but then the church guys saved me." And so I gave them the information on what I had. They took a look at my file before they burned out the car in order to get rid of some vampiric evidence, and they would like to take those bodies for questioning in exchange for returning me to the office.
If it works,
Well, his
it's a better
partners are
plan than
dead,
we've.
so
Oh,
Yeah, well,
there
there's
you go.
that. But if it works, it's a better plan than we've come up with. But if it doesn't work, it probably ruins the plan that we've come up with.
Well, then maybe we ambush them with the "Hey, we're taking the bodies," and just have him call in and say, "Hey, these good nice church folk are going to bring me back." And then the church folk show up, and we drop the letter on them. I'm going to get Luke to draft a legate order under an auto da fe, and or transfer of property.
my only fear here is that what if, like Masons, they have secret handshakes, weird things they do to vet people.
If they do, the church hasn't shared them with the FBI. Not if it's the church I grew up in.
What I mean is that if there is already someone who is associated with the Church of Leopold working inside this facility.
So,
You'd think there would be with Baron. The level of these kindred is probably.
well, if I have it signed by if I have it appear to be signed by the office of the papal legate, worst that happens is Father Hunter comes down to say, "Hey, what is all this then?" And then he talks to me. I'll handle that.
This is what I mean, though. Then the special handshake comes out. You don't know. Everything fall apart.
I can play dumb.
I mean, I like idea. I just fear there are a lot of moving parts that we don't understand.
I don't know the special handshake because I'm just here from the legate's office. I'm a canon lawyer. And then I'm just the messenger. I don't even know what that document says.
Why would they send a lawyer to pick up vampire body?
Because it's a legal transaction. The Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith has to use canon lawyers to do their stuff, especially if they're going to interact with other churchmen.
But we don't know if this is the way the Church of Leopold behave.
Based on what Drake told us, the church just tends to tell them to do stuff, which tracks. And I know how the church tells people to do stuff.
I mean, I'm willing to try.
Roughly about this time, the front door bursts open.
Uh-oh.
And you see a slightly cut up Eva and a more severely cut up Hunter. As she sort of holds him, like carrying him wrapped around her arm and sort of like walking him forward in.
What
Do you
the
need
hell happened
any
to you?
assistance?
No, I think he's okay. You should see the other guy. I'm back.
Were you followed?
No. The three of those guys are laying in a ditch somewhere.
Dimitri met a werewolf.
That's a
Yeah,
conversation.
we're going to get drinks later. It's cool.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna go put Hunter down and let him rest.
That seems harsh. Oh, you mean never mind.
Yeah,
Ignore me.
no, it's fine. I'll be right back. And that is where we will go ahead and wrap up for tonight, as Eva's go ahead and bringing Hunter back down to his room, and you guys are the doors swinging open at this point. The security is also rushing in, trying to figure out what the loud noises were.
You're late! I could be dead by now!
And that's where we'll go ahead and wrap up for tonight. So thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Really do appreciate it. Even though it was not our normal scheduled Tuesdays, we just had some scheduling issues come up, and thankfully our party is flexible enough to make other days work. So thank you guys for being flexible. Really do appreciate it. It's always a good time as always. But everyone else, probably going to be playing Sons of the Forest tomorrow, so make sure you guys are here tomorrow as well. It's going to be a very good time, and we'll see you also on Thursday for We Run the Night, our Shadowrun show. So make sure you guys are here for it. It's going to be a very, very good time. And otherwise, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday for more Indy by Night. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Nice.